For this technique, we're going to talk about stippling. Like your definition says, it's a painting technique in which you use small dots or spots to create a larger image or effects. Now, one thing I want to emphasize is this word small. That's kind of relative, right? So it doesn't mean always the smallest dot that you can make on a piece of paper with either a pencil or a paintbrush. Small in terms of really anything can mean different things. So don't think it always means the smallest dot that you can make. Okay. We're gonna put that to the side. With stippling, okay, kind of the one easier things you can do to create samples is just to see the different size brushes. What are kind of the smallest dots or spots that you can make? Again, it does not need to be a perfectly round circle when it comes to stippling, but I'm seeing like the smallest dot or spot I can make with this small red brush is going to be a lot different when it comes to kind of the smallest dot or spot that I can make with this bigger brush here. Okay? So keeping that in mind as you're actually going through and trying to make a bunch of different samples. Now, those are all with the paintbrushes. Stippling is a great technique in which we can add some other different tools to help us with painting, because you don't just always need to paintbrush or paint with a paintbrush. Okay, I have kind of this cotton swab here. One thing that I like to do is figure out, hey, these are pretty, specific circles, small dots, really consistent. You can even see that they start to open up. Now I'm going to put a little bit more pressure down. You can see it's almost kind of a harsher ring. I might flip this over and maybe use the back end of it and see the dots I can make there, see the spots. Now, one thing with stippling is seeing how these things layer on top of each other. So I might see, oh, the orange there, or I might come back over and put spots over top of things that I've already painted. Okay, a bunch of different examples here. I might try to find, hey, if I do this with a full cotton full of paint, I might like these little, these four here. And so I know that I need to get a full cotton swab or stipple it 3 or 5, 6 times until I get kind of this look that I want. Okay? We have this cotton swab. I've even grabbed something as small as like a paper clip and see kind of those small dots I can create there to figure out kind of different looks based on the different tools. Right? Now, by no means I'm going to bring another example in here. I could definitely paint something on there first and then stipple around. So the idea is I could layer these after they're dry so that it might seem a little bit harder to get different looking samples, but there's definitely enough to get at least 5 different samples for your skill set card with stippling.